Well, good morning. It's now 7:15 on Saturday the 14th of June. I'm Andy and this is my allotment. Quite a lot of work has gone on in the last week or so down here. Didn't do a video last weekend, time was against me. We were out pretty much all of Saturday and Sunday had grandson, so there wasn't a huge amount that I could get done. But I've made up for it through the week. I've been down a few times, and yesterday I came down and did a marathon 2.5–3 hour trimming session. So as you can see, all the long grass that was here before is now gone, which is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, quick run around the plot. Okay, underneath these frames, the yellow flowers are what's left of the swede I put in. It looks like every last one of them has gone to seed. I think what I'll do is I'll cut back the flower spikes, take out the ones that are really gone completely, and the smaller plants I'll leave and see if they'll develop, but not hopeful. Also in here I have got one, by the looks of it, remaining Brussels sprout here. There's another one over there which looks actually quite well eaten, so I'll see if I can save that one. If I can't, I'll take them out. I've also got lots of volunteer potatoes coming up in here. This is where I had my potatoes last year. As always, you never get them all out. So there's a few in here. There's one there. There's one there. I'll dig these out. I'll get rid. And I've also got lots of weeds in there. So this bed needs to be how I go out today. Now, this is my original square foot gardening bed from last year. Unfortunately I made the mistake of planting perpetual spinach in here. And as you can see, it's getting out of hand. These are coming out. They're too big. They're in the wrong place. And they grow like wildfire anyway. So what I'll do, I'll take these out and I'll get rid. At the front here, I've got some other plants I've put in recently. I've got some rocket there, which is tiny compared to the other ones put in at the same time, which I'll show you later. Behind them I've got radish, which isn't doing very much. Behind them I've got some, I don't know what it is to be honest, hang on a second. Oh, some more rocket, that's right. Some carrots, some beets, and then some lettuce, little gem lettuce I put in there. Again, they're not doing particularly well. I'm wondering whether this lot is taking all the nutrients and all the water and giving them shade, which they don't need. So I'm thinking of getting rid of these today. In fact, they are coming out today, to be honest, and we'll see how we do. Okay, the onions, doing absolutely wonderful. As you can see, I haven't weeded this bed either, so this all needs a good weed out today. I've got about an hour and a half down here this morning before I have to go off. I've got a breakfast meeting with some guys from church, and then after that we're going to go and have a look at a potential site for some new hives, because we're getting a bit crowded on here. That's another reason I've not been doing very much recently. We've managed finally to catch a swarm and it's stayed, and so we now have a beehive on this light as well. Right, fruit. This is my temporary fruit bed from last year, which has pretty much become permanent. There's black currants, there's lots of gooseberries in here. I'm getting loads and loads of berries on these. I'll just show you ones on this bit because they're easy to get to. As you can see, plenty of currants there. And on the gooseberries, there's the odd gooseberry here and there, as you can see there. Now this plant is quite a mystery. It looks like a currant, and I'm pretty certain I had black currants off it last year, but there's nothing on it. There's no currants on here whatsoever. So I'm not certain what's gone on with this. It's going to be dug up and transplanted. I mean, this was sold to me as a blackberry, would you believe, from Aldi last year. It did nothing last year because it was obviously too small, but it was obviously a currant. But this year, again, nothing. So if any of you know what this sort of currant is, let me know, will you? Because the blackberry leaves, as you can see, are large and flat, which is great. These leaves are curved. They're like got a curl on them, which I've never seen before. So I'm not sure what variety this is. So if anybody out there knows what it is, please drop me a line and help me out. Right, moving on, let's have a look at the raspberries. Now this raspberry bed is absolutely heaving with fruit, loads of flowers, and on some of the branches we even have fruit which is near as damn it ready. I tried it last night to take these off. They wouldn't quite come off, so they're not quite ready yet. But all the way down here, as you can see, we've got different varieties of raspberries. There's actually some tayberries in here as well, I think, which aren't flowering yet, and they will come later. But overall, fantastic. Okay, hanging baskets with strawberries. As you can see, lots of strawberries coming on those. And this is the grapevine that was given last year. I haven't put it in the ground because I don't know where to put it yet. But, so you can see that properly, there's actually fruit on the vine. Lots of fruit on the vine. Now, I've never had a grapevine before, so I'm not really certain what to do with these. Do I take some of these off and leave the rest to develop? Do I leave them all for this first year till it gets established? Do I take them all off? I don't know. Right, strawberries. This whole side is full of strawberries. The ones at this end obviously put the black plastic down, as you saw a few weeks back, and they're doing fantastic. As you can see there, we have some which are virtually ripe. Let's just see this one. No, not quite. A little bit of green on the bottom still. That one's near as damn it ripe. And some huge ones on here. They'll be massive. Down this part of the bed, again, we've got strawberries down there. And there's a slug eating away at one of these, so I'll get rid of that. Not quite keeping that one. But a few weeds in here still, some mint still in here that got transplanted in with some donated plants. But overall, looking good. Rhubarb. The plants are looking healthy. The problem is that I've got a slug problem which is eating all the leaves, as you can see at this end. I've got weeds in here I need to get rid of. But earlier in the year the plants were all lying really flat, which was strange. I've never seen them done like that. It's like someone has got like nestled in the crown of the rhubarb and forced it all down. They're all standing up again now, as you can see, and going strong. Some of these have got really, really thin stems, really spindly stems. I think one of them's a Timpley early. Not sure about the other. This one at the end is Victoria, and that's got thick stems. That's really nice. But again, I need to get in there and give this a good weed this weekend. I'll just show you quickly on the sitting area what we've got going up on here. Lots of broad beans need to go in the ground because they're getting a bit too long. Behind there I've got some fennel. Behind them I've got some peas. Some more peas there. These came out of my polytunnel, and unfortunately, because it's so wet in there, it's a perfect place for all the slugs. And they've just ravaged my kale and my cauliflowers. These are my climbing beans, which are going out this weekend. I'm going to get a trellis down here and put them up. Some more beans and a few tomatoes in the middle there, which are just surplus requirements at the moment. Right, over here, these are my crystal lemon cucumbers, and I've got a couple of what are those? Oh, artichokes, that's right, and some purple basil. That's all that survived basically from the tray inside the polytunnel, because it was all munched by slugs. So I decided to bring them outside where the slugs can't quite get at them and see how we do. But at the moment, doing well. Okay, now this bed is going to be cleared at this end because there's a lot of weeds there, unfortunately. It's where I had all my spare frames, which had been destroyed over the winter. I finally got around to rebuilding one. As you can see, I've got one here. Inside there I've got some celery plants, a dozen of those. And this is the rocket I was telling you about before. This was planted the same time as the one on the other bed. Look at the difference. I mean, some of this is bolting now, I think, and going to seed, so I need to get in there, trim it all back. And in the front I've got carrots. Now these were all put in the same time as the other bed. Now either this bed has got much more nutrients in it, and the one's running out and needs feeding. I really don't know, but the difference is incredible. Okay, comfrey. Huge amount of comfrey down there, and he's all trimming back because it's just getting wild. I keep intending moving these and putting them at the back of the polytunnel. Maybe I'll get around to it this weekend, I don't know. And that's another perpetual spinach that was put in last year, and as you can see, this one's also going wild and going to seed. So this is going to come out as well this weekend if I get a chance. At the front is the walking onion, or the Egyptian tree onion. Now, I showed you all this last year, and it's still going strong. It's getting a bit swamped by the comfrey, as you can see. But what they have is they have, oops, this one's been a bit bashed, I'm not sure how that's happened, but they like have bulbils on the end. Now this is what the plant reproduces with. These things stay on the plant and the plant falls over like onions do normally, and they land in the ground and they grow where they land. But at the moment this has been bashed a bit, I'm not sure how, on the front. Could have been me last night while I was trimming. But there's plenty of them, and loads of seeds, etc. If anybody fancy any of these, just drop me a message and I'll be in touch and I'll stick some in the post when they're ready to go. And you have your own walking onions. This has just come from one plant. As you can see at the bottom now, it's quite strong. There's about 7 or 8 major stems, and each one of these little bulbils will produce another plant. You can eat the bulbils and you can eat the stems as like chives if you want to, they're oniony, and you can eat the bulbs. So it's totally edible from top to bottom, which is great. However, at the moment, it looks like we've got rust on here, which is another problem, and it's possibly caused because the comfrey is a bit too close. This bed just needs a lot of weeding, some bits and pieces in there, another perpetual spinach. Why I thought I'd need so much picking spinach, I really don't know, but I decided I did, so anyway. Right, potatoes. These are doing absolutely fantastically. I've got 2 rows here on the right hand side with Cara. The next row in is Sarpo Mira, and then, which is this one here, which isn't doing too brilliantly. And then the one on the end is Pink Fir Apple, which is doing fairly well. But these Cara are flying away. I mean, they must be nearly 2'6" tall, 3 foot maybe at the back. Doing really well. This must be a main crop. Now, these are my first earlies. These are Maris Pear, I think it is. I do keep getting mixed up as to which one it is. It's one of the Marises anyway, and they're doing pretty well. Now, one problem I've had here is I've lost 2 plants. There was one there and one over there, and they came up nice, first of all, nice healthy plants, and then started to fade. And there's one there which is doing the same. I'm not sure what's causing this. I've not dug in the soil to find out if I've got anything underneath, but I've got 2 plants which have just simply upped and died, and one that's looking quite unhealthy. Again, anybody know what might be possibly causing this, please let me know. I'd love to find out. Now, as you can see, all this area has been trimmed back. At one point you couldn't even see these beds because of the grass, which was helping the slugs, to be honest. And there's loads of rubbish in this bed because all the dock and such like that's been cut down has fallen into it. I think it all needs tidying up today. But this bed was pretty much all Red Duke of York, apart from this end, which is where I had some Pink Fir Apple. They suffer in the Pink Fir Apple a little bit with slug damage, pure and simply because this is where all the grass was and where all the slugs were living. There's one plant there that didn't come up, there's a gap, but apart from that, pretty good. Now, you won't have seen this before for a long time, the rest of my plot, without all the grass. So, I'm really pleased with this at the moment. It looks a damn sight better than it did. One last bed to show you, which is the fruit bed. This is where the leeks were last year, and this is the bed I put the fruit bushes in temporarily, just to try and get them established really, and get them in the ground. I got given these last year. Red currants at this end, lots and lots of individual twigs, which were cuttings from the red currants, which are doing fantastic. There's lots of berries coming on, they're turning red. And then at this end, we have a fantastic white currant. I'm really pleased with this one. All the berries are coming on it now. They're all lovely and yellowy green, not turned white as yet in most cases, but it looks like we'll have a decent crop of red currants and white currants, which I'm really pleased with. And that big thing at the back is my 3-year-old purple sprouting broccoli. That's going to have a haircut this weekend. Take all these sprouts off, these long bits, and I'm going to see what happens. Because most people, when the sprouting broccoli is finished sprouting, they pull it out of the ground and they get rid. But this one survived 3 winters, 2 winters rather, and it's in its 3rd season now. I'm going to see if I can get some stuff off it next year. Because if I can, it's a fantastically strong plant, and hopefully I'll get loads and loads of spears of broccoli like I did this year. I'll let it go to seed after a while, just to leave it going. If I trim all this lot off now and leave it, it should hopefully get another flush of leaves, and will continue and give me crop again next year. It's an experiment, we'll see how it does. At the end of the day, I ain't lost anything if nothing happens. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to get on and do a bit of work, and I might come back to you tomorrow. Now tomorrow's Father's Day in the UK, And my present for Father's Day is I can spend the whole day down here. Fantastic. What more can I ask for? Anyway, enough of that for now. I'll just give you a quick spin round the allotment 360 so you can see what's going on, and then we'll call it quits. I hope this not too fast for you and you're not going to get dizzy like I am turning around to show you. But there we are, 360 around the plot. Anyway, that's all for now. As I say, I'll try and come back tomorrow and show you what I've managed to do. Hopefully weeding will be done, and hopefully those swede will be all trimmed back and dug out, and the potatoes and the everything else. The perpetual spinach will be out, the old chard will be out, and hopefully I'll have a lot of new stuff in. Anyway, that's all for now. Speak to you later. Bye bye. Okay, time for a very quick update. The onion bed is now weeded. I've been through it on my hands and knees and took out all the weeds. Now, one of the things I found with the onions being planted so close is that it's difficult to get in with your tool, so it's all been mostly hand weeding. The good thing about it being planted so close, there aren't that many weeds in between them. Now, I have found some of the onions have been munched and destroyed. A couple of the ones at the end have gone. They might recover because the bulb's still there. There's a bit of a stem, but I'm not convinced. And one shallot's gone as well. Now, the ones that seem to have gone were the ones that had the thickest congregation of weeds around them. So I'm thinking that's because the slugs are hiding in the weeds or living in the weeds and causing problems. But anyway, one bed down, several more to go. More updates later. Bye. Hi again, folks. Another quick update. It's now Sunday afternoon. Didn't manage to get back on the plot yesterday afternoon after the last update. We went off to have a look at an alternative place to put some beehives, which was quite fruitful. But then after that I got stuck at home helping the wife with some bits and pieces, so I didn't get down here. After glorious weather yesterday, got it this morning, it was cloudy, it was drizzly, it was wet, it was horrible. So I've hung around as long as possible, and I came down here about 2 o'clock, it's now about 4. Actually no, sorry, it's about 5 now. And quick update on what I've done while I've been down here. This is where the swedes were. Now, every last one, bar for one tiny specimen at the far end, had succumbed and had gone to seed. So they've all come out. What I've got left in here now is one fantastically big Brussels sprout, 2 others that are really suffering, and I've got some 6 cabbage primo plants which I've put in, which are looking a bit worse than where I now after being transplanted. They're all wilting, so they'll get a good watering before I go. One other thing I've done this afternoon, cleared out the bottom of this bed of the onions, and I planted a pumpkin. Now this pumpkin hopefully will take over all of this space here, so that should be fine. One more thing, let's see, what else have I done? Ah yes, some of the rocket has gone to seed overnight, so that needs trimming back and we can start harvesting some of that out. I've cleared this bottom end of the bed and I've planted up my climbing beans here, the 6 that I had left, and on the far side I've planted some more beans straight in the ground. We should be okay nowadays for them to grow, it should be warm enough. Now I had all these in root trainers and I had 7 beans in total, 6 climbing and 1 bush bean out of 32 that came up. And I was claiming, blaming bad germination. I know slugs got a couple of them, but I was thinking the rest of them were just badly germinated. However, when I took the root trainers apart and searched through, there was no sign of a seed in any of them. So I'm wondering whether or not Mr. Mouse has been in my polytunnel and dug through and helped himself to a nice harvest of beans before they even had a chance. There wasn't even a sign of any roots and no sign of any bean. I can't see that they've all rotted away completely in the time they've been in there, so I think that they've been raided. Right, this is my 3-year-old purple sprouting broccoli, my experiment. I've trimmed it back, I've taken all the seed heads off it and left it with just basically stalks and leaves, and I'm going to see what happens with it. And the other side of it, I've planted in my 1 remaining bush bean. So again, we'll see how that one goes. Not a lot to show for a lot of work, a lot of time in here, but that's basically how it is. And I've also harvested the first of my strawberries from over there, so looking forward to those. Back on again tomorrow, hopefully, and hopefully get a few more things in the ground. I've got a load of broad beans over there on the table which are ready to go in. I mean, they're well past going in, and peas as well. I just simply haven't got the space. I've got to clear beds for it, and I know pretty much where they're going to go, but I just got to get them cleared. Anyway, like I said, just a quick update. Sunday afternoon, and oh yeah, by the way, I've moved the frames off the other bed. They're going back on. Not leaving brassicas out in the open with the pigeons around here. Made that mistake the first year. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed what you're seeing. If you do enjoy it, please post some comments below, good or bad. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much, and bye for now.